Meet Mark and Sarah. On paper, they are the American dream. He's in cybersecurity, she's a senior marketing manager. Together, they pull in $140,000 a year. That's not just doing okay, that's the top tier of U.S. households.
Oh my God,
they have the degrees on the wall, the SUV in the driveway, and a beautiful home in a zip code people envy. But if you look closer, behind the designer curtains, Mark and Sarah are drowning. They aren't investing in their future, they're just one broken water heater away from total financial collapse. They feel like they're sprinting, yet the ground is moving backwards. Does this sound familiar? You've got two professionals, two paychecks, and zero peace of mind. Why is it that the more we earn, the more fragile we feel? Logic says two incomes should mean double the security, double the vacations, and double the wealth. But for most of you watching this, it feels like double the stress and half the freedom. You're asking yourself, where did the money go? We make too much to be this broke. Today, we're going to stop looking at the spreadsheets and start looking at the trap. To understand why you're struggling, we have to look back at 1970. 50 years ago, the single-income household was the gold standard. One paycheck covered the mortgage, the car, the kids' college fund, and still left enough for a yearly trip to the coast. But here's the secret. That single income wasn't just money, it was a safety net. If the father lost his job, the mother could enter the workforce. It was a break glass in case of emergency insurance policy that cost $0. Fast forward to 2026. The emergency plan has become the daily requirement. We've activated both engines just to keep the plane from falling out of the sky. This is the two-income trap. It's a systemic bait and switch where your second salary didn't buy you a better life, it just bid up the price of admission to the middle class. You're working twice as hard to stay in the exact same place your grandparents stood on one leg. Let's break down the math of how we got scammed by our own paychecks. Let's perform a financial autopsy on that second income. You think you're bringing home an extra $50,000, but Uncle Sam is the first one at the dinner table. Because of progressive tax brackets, that second income isn't taxed at the bottom, it's stacked right on top of the first one, hitting the highest marginal rate. Poof! 30% vanishes before you even see the direct deposit. Then comes the work tax. You need childcare because you're both at the office. That's $15,000 to $20,000 a year per child. Then you need a second car, second insurance, and gas for the commute. But the silent killer? It's the exhaustion tax. When you both get home at 6 p.m., brain-fried and soul-crushed, nobody is cooking a healthy, low-cost meal. You're hitting the delivery apps. You're paying for convenience because you no longer have the time or energy to be self-sufficient. By the time you subtract the taxes, the daycare, the extra car, and the overpriced Thai takeout you ordered because you were too tired to boil water, that $50,000 salary has shriveled down to maybe $5,000. You were working 2,000 hours a year for a net profit of $2.50 an hour. You aren't getting ahead, you're just a high-speed hamster in a very expensive wheel. Now let's talk about the biggest heist of the century, real estate. You were told that a second income would buy you a bigger house, a better neighborhood, and a safer future. But here's the brutal truth. When everyone started working two jobs, they didn't get richer. They just bid against each other. It's a classic arms race. You took your second salary to a housing auction where every other family did the exact same thing. The result? That house didn't get twice as big, it just got twice as expensive. You aren't paying for extra square footage, you're paying a premium just to outbid the couple next door who is also working 60 hours a week. And why are you so desperate for that specific zip code? It's not just the granite countertops, it's the school district. We've turned public education into a pay-to-play system funded by property taxes. To get your kid into a good school, you have to buy a $500,000 house you can barely afford. You aren't paying tuition, but your mortgage interest is the tuition equivalent. You're locked into a 30-year debt contract just so your child can have a decent seat in a classroom. The moment you sign that mortgage, the trap snaps shut. This is what Elizabeth Warren called the bidding war for educational opportunity. We've traded our flexibility for a prestigious address that requires two incomes to maintain. Look at your neighbors. They look successful, right? 2 luxury SUVs, manicured lawns, and the latest iPhones, but they are living in a house of cards. They have zero margin for error. If the economy catches a cold, they catch pneumonia. We're working twice as hard for the same seat at the table our grandparents bought with 1 paycheck and a high school diploma. So how do we break the trap? The answer isn't make more money, because as we've seen, the system will just find a new way to eat it. The answer is the one income foundation. You have to stop living like a dual income family and start building a life that can survive on 1 paycheck. Your mortgage, your cars, and your non-negotiables must be covered by the lower of your 2 salaries. The second income? That is not spending money. That is your freedom fund. It's the ammunition you use to shoot your way out of the rat race. This requires a wartime mindset. It means driving past the massive suburban mansions that the bank says you qualify for and choosing the house that doesn't own you. It means driving the paid-off Toyota while your neighbors lease German cars they can't afford. It feels like a sacrifice in the short term, but you're buying something they don't have. Optionality. When your fixed costs are low, you own your time. You can quit a toxic boss, you can start a business, or you can handle life's surprises without a financial heart attack. Here is your 5-step roadmap to escape the trap in 2026. Step 1. The burnout audit. Calculate exactly how much that second job is netting after taxes, childcare, and exhaustion spending. Is it worth 40 hours of your life for a net profit of a few $100? Step 2. Freeze the lifestyle. Next time you get a raise, don't upgrade. Put that money directly into your debt or investments. Step 3. Build the 12-month fortress. You need a year of expenses in cash. This is what buys you the courage to say no to the system. Step 4. Kill the recurring leech. Eliminate every monthly payment except the house. No car notes, no expensive subscriptions. Step 5. Purchase freedom. Take that second income and pump it into compounding assets. In 5 to 10 years, those investments will generate a third income that doesn't require you to sit in traffic. That is how you turn a trap into a trampoline. The 2-income trap isn't about money, it's about the loss of margin. Our grandparents had something we've traded away, the ability to absorb a shock. They had freedom because they kept their expenses small and their backup plans in reserve. We've traded that freedom for bigger houses and the appearance of prosperity. But appearances aren't wealth. Cash flow isn't security. True wealth is the ability to walk away from anything that no longer serves you. It's time to stop bidding against your neighbors and start bidding for your own freedom. You can earn your way into a trap, but you have to think your way out of it. My name's Bobby, and if this video helped you see the trap, smash that subscribe button. Let's build something real.